Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Dan the Nightmare Schwartz, and I have the privilege and honor to highlight one of my sponsors today, Fred Goki from ISO Hit Arm Wrestling Trainer by Juggernaut Fitness and Fab. I know it's a mouthful, but the ISO Hit has been amazing in my preparation on and off the table. I mean, in preparation for Olympia. I qualified back in the fall at New York State Championships by getting second place. And I'm really looking forward to getting to the next level of arm wrestling. And this gentleman here has helped me over the last few months get to that next level. I started arm wrestling 2 years ago, and it was an amazing experience. And the camaraderie and the community spirit that I've been completely enveloped by is second to none. And I am so grateful for the opportunities that I've had. And I've been busting my hump, working hard. I'm going to be competing at the 165 weight class next month in Las Vegas. And without further ado, I'd like to bring in Fred Goki to go ahead and tell us about ISOHIT, about himself, his background within the arm wrestling community and fitness.
Good morning. And Dan and I met a while back at a seminar with Devin Larrett in New Jersey. My arm wrestling journey kind of started the same way. About 2 years ago, I started getting involved, and I found a very welcoming community. Met Dan and shared a little aggressive hand holding, and we were in development of a tool. I started out doing it for myself. I'm a very busy guy, and I'm all about training efficiency. And I started building this tool for myself, and I got hooked up with Gerard Agostino from Juggernaut Fitness, who manufactures fitness gear, and he has some arm wrestling experience. And together we came up with the device that's been predominantly my sole training tool for arm wrestling now. And pretty much it. Now we're dedicated to sharing efficient tools that are cost effective, and American made.
That's very important. Cost effective, efficient, American made. We want to support local businesses, right? We want to see our economy grow and everything develop. And with the introduction to a lot of different social media platforms and different personalities in the sport of arm wrestling, it really does make a difference to have something that works. And my experience with this tool, this ISO hit, it's a great tool. And I see he has it actually on the offside of the camera right there. So this tool right here replicates exactly the type of startup load up that you would get at a arm wrestling table match. This is a training tool that doesn't tire, doesn't exhaust, and is there for you no matter what. And I gotta tell you, the experience that I had from it up until when I first got it, I wasn't experiencing as much elbow pain as I normally would expect. But once I started using it, it activated all the aches and pains that I needed to get to the next level, to get past the next level. And it's been glorious by way of my hits, my holding strength in the center of the table, and it's been actually quite conditioning to spur very specific angles that I was lacking previously. So I really am excited to see the results come next month. Is there any mission statement or philosophy that our viewers can watch or hear about and see what it is makes ISOHIT and Juggernaut Fitness and you guys stand out from the rest?
Juggernaut Fitness, they've been fantastic with manufacturing, speed, durability, quality. He puts his name on every product. He built a couple of pronation tools for me, and we got hooked up. Like I said, it's about efficiency. The adaptability and the versatility of the tool is important. You have to be able to change it quick. I'm a big proponent of the law of specificity. You know what I mean? Where you can only get better at something by doing that specific thing, right? And trying to replicate it by pulling pulleys and pulling resistance bands, it never made me feel like a practice, right? So my schedule doesn't allow me, and our club is kind of spread out upstate Armed Force. So to travel to practice is a little bit difficult for me. So in order to try and get the feeling of a practice, we developed this tool with versatility to try and strike our hand, strike our wrist, you know, and hit all the angles, you know, and it's the only thing that I've felt after I'm done with a good workout, like I've left a practice.
Absolutely. I mean, not for nothing, it's actually replaced quite a few of the training tools that I've been used previously, and some of which I've created on my own. But it's definitely something I've incorporated and become a very focal point of my training. So that's really cool. Any future developments on that specific model, or any future things that are going to be coming down the pipeline?
We're working on, we use it with a fat grip, you know, we supply it with a fat grip, and we recommend that you also use the art arm handles with it, or total control handles. We're working on developing some of our own handles to go with it.
Oh,
And some different adapters to put on it to apply force to your fingers more. Like I showed a video on how you can use the one of those Home Depot 98-cent straps and put it through the handle.
yeah.
To attack your fingers with some resistance bands and stuff. But we're starting to develop stuff of our own that we're gonna supply with the ISO head, or as an option, you know. So and Juggernaut Fitness, they supply all kinds of home gym stuff. I mean, you know, they make you know, belt squat systems to snap onto your squat rack. You know, he makes a lot of adapted stuff to go on your squat racks, and he's big into grip strength. He makes a lot of grip strength tools. So
It's important to have a versatile set of products to utilize. And it sounds like we have this gentleman who has all the products you might need, all the different ideas and concepts you may be looking for. I think we should reach out to these guys and help them expand their business, because it's only going to help us as athletes who are looking to train, who are looking to think outside the box when it comes to the training platforms. Because push comes to shove, the last 2 years, I really haven't stepped foot in the gym, right? In traditional senses of working out, I get bored just doing the same lift, same transitions over and over again. So I need a little bit more, something a little more dynamic, a little different. And I gotta say, the products that I've been utilizing have been presenting just that very different outside the box experience.
that's exactly what we want. You know what I mean? Like my whole life, I'm trying to develop a program for my son. He's a 12-year-old athlete, right? And he plays so many sports and he practices so many sports, that what he loves to do. So I'm in the process of developing a program where he's only going to do 5 exercises once a week, and he's going to grow and get stronger because, again, the law of specificity, right? He's only going to get better at basketball by playing basketball. Squats might help him jump higher, but squatting 5 times a week or 3 times a week, or, you know, spending all that time in the gym doing those reps, I would rather have something simple, fast. Like I come down here and I use my tool whenever I got time, right? I plan it so that every Wednesday I'm going to come down here and that's going to be my practice. If I don't hit a practice, I lift weights once a week, upper body once a week. I only make the muscle stronger, right? And then practice. That's my mantra.
Well, I mean, training with purpose is something that I feel sometimes gets lost in our sport, right? You know, and a lot of times some of the people who get on the table, they want to know, why are they not progressing? Because they're trying to capture everything, I feel, and they don't hyper focus on a specific skill set. Like for me, I learned how to top roll before I learned how to hook. My top roll became something very, very proficient at, and I stuck with that. I wanted to perfect that specific one. Not because I wanted a silver bullet per se, but I wanted to become confident and comfortable with that style before I moved on to the next. And so I did do a lot of hyper specific training for that. And it lends to, I wish I had this tool earlier on in my arm wrestling career, because I think it would have elevated me that much more. But now that I have it, I'm over the moon with what can happen, what will happen with my training.
That's great. That's great. That's exactly what we're doing. I mean, I know there's other ones out on the market. You know, we saw Sabins, right? Sabins was out there, and one of the guys in my club got it. And the first time it came, the weld broke when they were using it on the table. And I've noticed in the videos, people are wrapping their wrists, and it's only right-handed. And, you know, we wanted a tool that it's made to bolt on most tables. And we wanted something that go right-handed and left-handed very quickly. You know what I mean? Because listen, let's be honest, arm wrestlers are workers, right? They all got jobs. They're all in the garage, mechanics, carpenters, whatever, you know what I mean? So if you want to be good at something, you want to develop something, you have to be able to focus and concentrate, maximize your efforts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And like I said, listen, I started developing it for myself. It was totally selfish at first, you know, and then we come up with a good idea. We actually designed the first one. Well, the first one, I deliberately broke it to make sure that we were going to have something that was applicable.
Of course.
And, you know, we wanted to make one that could be used for reps, right? Some of them ones that are on the market, you can't even budge them things, or your elbows way off the table, or, you know, having ours being adjustable in height. And so that a guy could just like me, right? Like me, I'm a fireman, paid fireman. I work anywhere from a minimum of 48 hours a week, which is not happening. That's like vacation for me right now. We're about 100 hours a week right now with overtime. And so I need to get this in, right? So I just leave it bolted to my table. If I want to have pulleys and resistance bands, I could change the angles a little bit. Yeah. But if I say, hey, I'm just going to go down and hit that thing for 10 minutes right before dinner, you know what I mean? I can do it. And it's efficient, you know?
And within the 10 minutes, it's almost identical to a half hour to 45 minutes of arm wrestling training with an actual live person.
Right.
In my opinion, because when I go in on it, I'm feeling like, wow, I just like arm wrestled a 300-pound man.
Yeah.
And it's great because I feel the results. I feel the benefit, and I feel like all the different little components that you have, because I want to go in a little more detail actually real quick on the actual device itself, because it does actually telescope. It goes up and down in height. So if you have that higher lever, if you have the shorter lever, it's accommodating, right? The other side of it is it got these little eyelets that you can put hooks onto, that you can put different resistance from different angles, which is glorious because you don't have all people pulling the same way. So if you want to train for a specific person, you can actually do so and recreate the style and setup. And another way that I saw that you displayed, which is great, is that you can train from a losing position by bringing by putting a pulley onto it, right?
Yeah, I used a table mount pulley system from Israel, and I used weight to pull it all the way into the losing position. And of course, it's going to assist the weights to a certain point, right?
Yeah.
The spring will help assist the weights, but once it gets to that zero position, then you have to start working your way back. You know what I mean? It's like almost getting yourself not into a king's move, but like you get yourself into like almost into an open top roll. You know what I mean? And you can get back and just start creeping that thing back. You know what I mean?
And it definitely gives you all the different angles that you would ever need to train on a table without having a live person to do so. So for those of you who are watching and aren't close to a club and can't get to another person on the table, please visit this man's Instagram, reach out to him, email him. I know you guys have just created a new Instagram for this. It's going to be in the description, but you can also email him. I'll be including the email for Fred's contact information as well below. Other than that, if there's any questions or concerns, feel free to shoot me a message or him directly. Again, thank you so much for your time, Fred. This has been an amazing whirlwind of an experience for me, because being a new athlete, I wasn't always athletic. So being new, this support is unreal. It's unbridled of an experience. And I really hope that somebody else sees my experience and says, hey, I want to be a part of that too.
Yeah, that's, I guess people that are on the same mission as me, right? Me and you have both had a weight loss journey together. We know of each other's struggles, and to know that hard work pays off. I always looked at weights, always worked out. I've been involved in martial arts, and my kid, who's 12 years old now, when he was 7, he started working on his own. When I was in the firehouse, he would come down, he'd just spin around on the rings or whatever. But it's by setting an example, And I got involved in arm wrestling because I wanted to show my son that if I work hard, I can bring home a stupid medal or a trophy or something. You have wins, right? No matter how big, so I wanted to be able to show my son that there are successes with working hard, and to see you doing that and meeting you down in New Jersey that first time, you were so welcoming, and, you shared your knowledge with me, and you know, and then I saw you out the States and we got discussing your journey. And I was like, hey, man, let's see what we can do, you know? And listen, I know that you're new to this, promoting it, right? And promoting yourself. And I would rather grow together. I mean, it's easy to try and get some big name, you know what I mean? And hopefully if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't, you know what I mean? But if you have the ability to connect with somebody who's on the same mission and grow together, that's more important to me.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said about your vibe attracting a tribe, right? It's how you present yourself, how you carry yourself. And I gotta tell you, the people that I've been privileged and have had the pleasure of getting to know and meeting over this last 2 years in the sport of arm wrestling, the only thing I can relate it to is the camaraderie you'd find in a firehouse meets a motorcycle club. A little less illegal activity, of course.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the middle. I agree.
Some middle ground in between that, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a true brotherhood, though, because rising tides raises all the ships, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's benefiting from what you and I are doing. And I hope that we can directly influence the sport in our own way.
It's so cool, you know. It's like I said, I started around the same time you did, right? 2 years ago, right? And I arm wrestled a little bit when I was way back, like 30 years ago, stupid bar stuff or whatever. And before COVID, I've been a martial artist. I was going to get involved in jiu-jitsu because I had a little competitive thing in me. I wanted to do something. COVID hit, that went sour. And then at the end of COVID, I said, let me see what's going on in the arm wrestling world. So I got on YouTube. Next thing I know, there's Arm Bet. I got on Arm Bet. Met up a guy around the corner from me, Gerard Matias, you know what I mean? And he's already been hanging out. Was involved for about a year or so, already been hanging out with Todd Hutchings. You know,
wow.
6 months later, we got Michael Todd in his backyard. And then 2 years after that, me and you are in proximity with Devin Laird and Marcio Barbosa. I mean, it's like, I'm a nobody, man. You know what I mean? I got like 4 amateur tournaments that I got more losses than anything. And I'm standing in a room with the greatest in the world by default. And that's what's great about this sport. That's what's really great about it.
The accessibility to the people at the very top it's unreal. I can't sit there and pick up my phone and call up Michael Jordan if I wanted to.
Exactly.
But I have Monster Michael Todd's phone number. And I can reach out to him if I needed to. I'm not going to bother the man because I know he's very busy. But the accessibility that it's unreal. Yeah. It's unreal because you guys, they're busy. It's not like you're sitting around waiting for my call. Yeah, and I understand that. So I'm grateful for that.
I had a private coaching session right here. My kids call this the killing room in my basement because it looks like people get killed down here. And I had a private coaching session with Todd Hutchings. You know what I mean? In my basement. I mean, it was by Zoom or whatever. But I mean, it's just that easy, and it didn't cost me a penny. Right? They offer that stuff to you for free. You know, and I mean, maybe we're a little more expensive, but we're not making any money on this item. We're just trying to get it out there, and we're just trying to do our part to make it better, be a bigger part of it. You know,
absolutely. So, where's the next event we can see you at?
I'm hoping to go into the Big Apple Grapple on December 17th down in the city. That's my plan. That's what I'm training for. I'm trying to peak for that now. I had a match the other night at the club level, and then I got another match on Sunday at the club level. And then after that, I won't pull again probably until then. Okay. I mean, I'll do small practices, but I'm hoping to be able, my work schedule allows it. I'm going to go to the Big Apple Grapple.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, my when it comes to preparation for me, I actually take off 10 days off of table time leading up to the tournament, and then 5 days prior I stop all forms of lifting. When I do that lifting, it's only with resistance bands or a body weight. I don't do anything with high intensity. I just do blood flow related stuff.
I just do my 5 days out. I'll do a rice bucket. I'll do a rice bucket a couple times a week.
There you go.
And that's pretty much it, you know.
That's perfect. The rice bucket works beautifully, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a day, but I am super grateful for the opportunity. Again, guys, all the links will be in the description down below. Check out this guy. got a great product, got a great philosophy, and a great standpoint. I can't stand behind him enough, and I'm privileged for him to be standing behind me to get me to the next level at Mr. Olympia. I hope to come home with a freaking first place, man. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, visualize the win, visualize the pin.
Thanks, Dan. Good luck, buddy.